Let's try this again. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Morning Coins with John and Chaz 20. On the previous post of the same title, please do not upvote that post. Upvote this post. But in all honesty, if you upvote both posts, I'm not going to say anything. We just got shut down. You all right, Chaz?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I'm good. Now? I'm good. We're going to have to start all the way back at the beginning.
Okay.
And the camera's still messed up again. Dang it. All right, we got that all set up. I'm at John Spalding, and I have at CRollo3 with me. We lost everybody. We lost our 7 viewers. Dang it.
I hate it when that happens.
That's all right. I wonder who our 1 viewer is. Sean S. Porter, if that's you, put something in the chat. And if it's not you, whoever it is, put something in the chat. So, guys, we're doing Avinoc. We got kicked out. What we're going to do right now, since we got kicked out, is if OBS crashes again, we'll just call it quits. But we're also recording this, so if DLive happens to crash or stop, then we'll just keep recording and put up the recorded version later. But we're doing Avinoc today, and so let's do our disclaimer first.
Okay, cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options trading involves substantial risk of loss and are not suitable for every investor. The valuation of cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options may fluctuate, and as a result, clients may lose more than their original investment. All investments discussed on this show are for informational purposes only and are not recommendations to buy or sell.
Perfect. And let's just get right into our links.
So Avinoc link first, just go to the website, check out the videos. They have a video competition on going on their site, so you can put in your video to advertise Avinoc. A good article after that on how decentralization evolves. You know, after interoperability, what then? And interoperability itself, a good article there talking about some other projects besides Polkadot that is working on this challenge. And then you put up periodic table of cryptocurrencies.
I did.
You were going to show that to us.
Yep.
I thought it was a pretty neat chart.
Yeah, it does a good job at kind of explaining, or it really does a good job at categorizing. I shouldn't say explaining, categorizing some of the different ones. I'll go ahead and link it and open it up. This is actually a post from Shadow Cocoon on Steemit.
Okay.
So we'll copy it, and then we'll bring it up over here. And I just wanted to kind of show it to folks so they can see it. If you haven't seen this yet, it just does a real good job of categorizing currencies. So we'll show it real quick, and then we'll keep going. But talks about it categorizes payments, protocols, exchanges, and interoperability. And you can see all the ones that are listed under there. BitShares being one, Chain. I don't see Polkadot in there yet. It must not be old enough. And then FinTech, Business and Enterprise. So this is actually this is a different one than another one that I saw. There's another one that I saw out there that's very similar. So we'll have to I'll have to check that out. But this one is from Shadow Cocoon. So just make sure you guys check that one out. And then before you take it back over, Chaz, the slideshow is in the description. So on DLive, you have to copy and paste that slideshow, or if you're looking at it on Steemit later or on YouTube for video on demand, then the link will be in the description. And all you have to do is click on the slides for this episode link, and it'll take you right to this presentation.
Cool. Great. So that was, I looked at that chart. That was interesting. I'm anxious to review it more and take a look at it. Could have some ideas in there for future projects for us.
Definitely.
But, again, the experts are at it again. Jim Cramer.
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin could go as low as $800.
Okay, Jim.
And he doesn't think Bitcoin's, he alluded, he didn't come out and say it, but alluded that maybe it's not so legitimate. I just am amazed at, and I shouldn't be. I should know this is going to happen, but people who don't understand what's going on, having to throw their 2 cents in, or 1 cent in his case, to make a comment about stuff they don't know about.
Right. And let's be honest, a lot of those folks are American and they have deep ties to the financial industry.
Correct. Yes. He is.
So they have no benefit, right? They know they stand to lose.
Yes.
In the new world of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin technology. Because honestly, like you said, they don't know anything about it. And
yeah, they have very limited knowledge.
Right.
Really.
The race right now is the race for information. And that's why I like this show. This is a good research show. We highlight a lot of projects out there in the blockchain universe, and we talk about a lot of stuff important for that kind of stuff. So, like that is FUD, right? That is what you would call FUD in the financial industry. It's someone who wants to spread either fear, uncertainty, or doubt about something, and who knows? Who knows why people do it? I mean, that's one reason, but.
Well, I give this opinion that experts feel compelled to say things because they are the experts.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably gotten lots of emails and communications asking about the cryptocurrency market, and this is his response. So
yeah,
then take the time to actually do the research and learn about it. You just throw something out there.
Oh yeah, right. It's just show prep for them.
Yes. Last link. Ripple endorses crypto exchanges. They have several crypto exchanges that they are asking their users to go to.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Does it, now I haven't read this article yet, does it say, or do you remember which ones?
No, I don't remember off the top of my head. I think what was it? I can't remember. Bitfinex was one.
Bitfinex?
Yeah, Bitfinex, you're right. And according to the Ripple platform people, what they're trying to do is find a place where they can have good volume, liquidity, and that they can have larger volume. Larger volume would, of course, be liquidity. But they're trying to set up their system so that people can use XRP to do their fund transfers.
Okay.
And so they need an active markets to do that in. And so they wisely have picked 3, I think, at first. They say there's more coming. But yeah, you have to have a place to do that. Coinbase, of course, rejected them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason for that, Coinbase is just being protective, because they're not sure how the Securities and Exchange Commission and other regulatory agencies are going to view that. So they're just rejecting anything that looks like it might not pass muster.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're very, that's one thing to say about Coinbase is they definitely do their due diligence. They're good communicators, so it is what it is. They want to and need to operate within the full functionality of United States law since they're a U.S. company. And
yeah, I think they're not trying to be rogues.
Right.
They're trying to work within the framework of the current regulatory agencies.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. All right. So yeah, I'll make sure to check that article out. For Ripple.
That's a good one. I think they're just taking steps. They're taking the right steps, and they're just moving ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat quietly, but they're doing it.
All right. What are we doing next?
Next slide, sir.
Okay, we're there.
The 5 forces model, and this was referred to in the white paper for Avinoc. Bargaining power. If you look at this, the whole thing makes sense. Is that I call it conflict theory. Is that through conflicts things are worked out and made stronger. They're made more durable. And so this just sort of outlines the conflicts that can occur and how they work themselves out. And it all culminates in industry rivalry.
Interesting. Okay.
So they refer to that in the paper.
All right. And so they're trying to pit themselves as rivals before they get off the ground, or what?
I think what they're looking at here is they're looking at the current system
Mm-hmm.
and how convoluted the system is, and what they're trying to do is bring some order to that system.
Okay.
And they have some really, their goals are pretty good. I like their goals, and we're going to talk about that. And then the next slide is their vision, and in their paper, it's I put 5.2 there because that's where it's located in their paper.
Look at all those words.
A lot of them. Our vision of Avinoc is to create a unified, permissionless database layer with an integrated payment system for general aviation, and in particular for BizAv, to make sustainable development possible. In doing so, we place particular emphasis on optimizing processes by fully automating them. Automatizing? I thought automate would have worked. Them to reduce communication flow times to near zero, and at the same time allow payment for services at the same speed. This means our choice here is blockchain, which we specifically upgrade for the purpose. We believe that in BizAv, as a motor for innovation and progress, we believe in particular that it will have far more potential in the future than may currently be imaginable in many places. For us, Avinoc means a genuine and honest disruption. And I don't know what that 14, that might have been, I might have forgot to take that out. Disruption in order to lay the foundation for the future of BizAv, and as a result, enable autonomous flying for operational businesses on a global basis. Just one distinction I want to make here is general aviation includes airlines and business aviation. Business aviation would be like charter flights, taxi flights, they would be freight flights. So stuff that doesn't fall into the larger realm of airlines.
Gotcha.
Is BizAv.
And is BizAv, is that just a niche of the aviation industry, or is that a company that's part of Avinoc?
No, it is a title or a category.
Okay. So it's just a category of that part. Okay.
Yeah, category under general aviation. So general aviation would include airlines and business aviation.
So, and you don't know if this vision, like some of those typos in there, or use of words that are weird, like automatizing and the disruption 14, you don't know if those are just typo errors from you putting the presentation together, or is this Avinoc not having good?
This is a copy paste from their paper. So
Okay.
It's that. Now, I'll say this about the paper. When I read it, I felt like I was reading a college philosophy paper.
Right.
It was convoluted, and I think the reason for that is that it's been translated into English.
Okay.
And from the we lose some of our colloquial terms in there somewhere.
Gotcha.
So it was a tough read for me to go through.
Well, and this was recommended to us from Edgar Zart, who was on last time.
Yes.
And so we cover it.
So we thought we'd accommodate him.
Yep. And Indigo Occupy, thank you for your upvote. Sometimes Rampant, thank you as well. We appreciate you guys listening, watching, and you guys can chat with us if you'd like, or come in live at that number up above. Sorry, Chaz.
No, not a problem. We need to acknowledge our viewers.
Yeah.
And listeners. I appreciate that. I just wrote down the next slide. I just made some note. These are more like notes on some of the challenges that they're going to be facing. You're looking at different layers of access to data, because let's face it, we don't want the public accessing our crew list and our flight list, and we don't want them accessing any kind of information that might be proprietary.
Right.
So there's going to be different levels of access or different data layers that they have to be aware of and find a way to layer those so that only the right people access them.
And so, are you mentioning these challenges, or are they mentioning these challenges? And
It's some of it is theirs, and I just sort of highlighted them.
and they're because this is going to be a token that's built on the Ethereum network.
Yes.
So are they going to be doing this via smart is that why number 3 is there? They're going to be adapting the smart contracts to take care of that data issue?
Yeah, they think that, and we're going to talk about this a little more later, that the smart contract as it is currently cannot meet their criteria. So it has to be updated or it has to be adapted to their system.
Okay.
Okay, here we are to shameless self-promotion again.
Uh-oh, back to Coinbase.
Coinbase, one of our favorites.
It's only because we get $10 if people invest 100.
Purely a financial mercenary thing. Yeah.
So yeah, so for you guys out there in the chat room, you can make fun of Coinbase in the chat. And for those of you watching on VOD or on the replay and you haven't heard of Coinbase, and I would say, and you're in the United States, click on one of those links above, whoever you like better, or whoever you think needs $10 in Bitcoin, and purchase $100 worth of digital tokens. It can be Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, or Bitcoin, and we both get $10 a Bitcoin. When I say we both, that means either you, the purchaser, and me, or maybe Chaz, if you click on his link.
Yes, that works for me.
All right, back to Avinoc.
Whatever the random choice is. Okay, so
Forced choice.
It's a blockchain solution that provides a transparent, integrated, permissionless, decentralized base data layer for exchange of relevant information. I'm not going to read any more of that, but what they're looking at here is they are trying to take a system that's sort of fragmented, bring it together. So let's, just as an example, there are brokers out there that broker freight, they broker individual people for flights. What they're trying to do is make this system work. So if something happens, let's say you have a flight scheduled, you're riding let's say you're taking a charter flight, and all of a sudden the charter flight's canceled.
Okay.
They want to be able to get you a replacement immediately so that you can get on the flight at your scheduled time. So they're bringing all this information together, and they're going to try and organize it and bring it to a point where the blockchain that they're presenting will allow them not only to pay fees, buy tickets, which we'll see later, but also to organize the actual operation of the airlines together so that they can fill seats and that they can reduce costs, and then they can make it a more efficient system in general. Okay.
So their aim as a company or as a blockchain platform is to create an optimal supply chain and increase efficiencies within the aviation community.
Yes. Okay. Because let's face it, there are times where planes leave the ground without being full, or your flight gets canceled.
Yep.
And other things can happen too. Let's say it's a freight flight, and you only got half a plane full of freight.
Right.
They could find freight for your plane. You could get that plane full, because every time it takes off the ground and it's not full, that's an inefficiency.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay.
And then some of the other things that we're going to talk about later are what happens when things go wrong, right? Let's say you got a flight and it gets diverted, and you're all of a sudden in a different city, and you need to get to this other city. What happens then? They
Right.
plan to solve that problem.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that's what that next slide was about. It just talks about coordination of flights, orders, customer supplier management. How about repairs and parts for airplanes?
Sure.
Oh my God, I don't have this part. And you get on the blockchain that they propose and you find that part and it gets sent to you immediately. And you can pay for it over their blockchain with their token.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and it
So
says the main focus is benefits through time saving. Time can be saved by using business aviation on demand as opposed to following a fixed timetable. And okay, yeah, so they're looking to operationalize, make efficient, and coordinate the data within the aviation industry. It's interesting, right? Like people are coming up with solutions for everything.
yes. Well, I think what's happened over these many years is that a lot of systems that were in place have outgrown their I'll say businesses have outgrown their systems.
Right.
What
And
they had been using no longer works.
yeah, or it works, but it works inefficiently, and when it works inefficiently, the prices to the consumers inevitably end up going up because they don't. Right? No company's is gonna bear the brunt. They're gonna pass it on as best they can.
Yes. Well, here's an example of inefficiencies. I worked at a shipping company at one time, and I got the chance to talk to the pilots that flew the freight planes.
Okay.
They were telling me how ridiculous the system was because they would land at an airport and they would land them far away from the terminal. Under their system, they had so many minutes to get to the terminal. Everything was timed. Well, when they shove them way out on the far side of the airport, they don't make their time frame.
Yeah.
Now they're getting emails wanting an explanation of why you didn't get to your port, to your terminal on time. And it's like a blockchain really could view this. They could have an overview on the blockchain, know where that plane is, be able to analyze the distance and know that information instead of tying their pilots' times up answering ridiculous questions by email.
That's a very good example. That's a very good example. It looks like your next slide has some other like facts about inefficiencies as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. I believe here when I read this that when they talk about turnover, that would be not actual turnover, but it would be revenues.
Okay.
Right. So you can see that's a $1.1 trillion in revenues in this chart.
73% is for airline and charters. 0.1% is for private aviation, and 26% is business aviation.
Yes. So you can see who dominates that.
Sure. And the aircrafts, though, 76%, oh, this is globally, is private aviation. Business aviation is 17%, and 7% is airline and charter.
Yeah, so you look at the number of planes that are flying.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of inverted.
Wow.
You know?
Who has all these planes?
Yeah, they're businesses all over the world that fly. I'll give you an example. I knew a guy once who I met in the banking business when I was in the banking business.
Your camera's froze, but keep up with the example.
It's a great thing. Is it a good pose, I hope?
Mm.
That's okay.
You look pensive.
Thank you. His business that he had was flying body parts for transplants via a private jet.
Okay.
So they had to get the hell out of there and get it to where it was going fast.
Right.
So these are the types of business, and it wasn't a big business. It wasn't huge. I mean, they didn't have like 30 planes. They just had enough to get the parts to where they needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm viewing this business aircraft, these small businesses all over the place that are doing these types of operations. They're nimble, they're fast, they're able to move quickly and get things done. Or maybe they're flying an executive to some location from a business that needs to get there in a hurry.
Right. Gotcha. Let's do some thanks for some upvotes. Maloon Inavan. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. But Maloon Inavan. Thank you. Hasty Peacock. Zora. Eva Nove 92. Nesturi Tuim Fatty. Sableside. Strange 12. Thank you all for your upvotes. Those things at the bottom are those stats at the bottom are interesting too. 286 billion turnover globally, or does turnover mean total flights generated?
I think that means that's a dollar sign there. It's USD. I think they're talking revenue.
Okay, annual growth at 7.6%. USD 114 billion 823,000 empty flights paid per year, totaling 40% of all flights.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Wow. And that all gets passed on to the consumer.
Right. They got to pay for that plane being in the air.
So 40% of all flights are empty.
Yes.
Oh man, that is a bit that's a number, and that's from 2015 General Aviation Statistics and 2017 Industry Outlook. And is this from the Avinoc site?
Yeah, this is from their white paper.
And
Their
50% on average by brokers, about 33% of the total cost by intermediaries. What does that mean?
I don't know. Again, it was like reading a philosophy paper.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that 50% of their costs are to brokers for doing that.
For like getting the flights sold.
Yeah.
So that's the partnership that, like, would travel agencies and like online like orbits and stuff like that be included in that? Would they be considered brokers?
Thanks. Nice segue to the next slide. Yes, they would be considered intermediaries. So they are not actually working for the airline, but they are selling for the airline.
Gotcha. Okay. So use cases would be for intermediaries, direct bookings, and empowerment of the customer through the availability of all data. Would be a goal, Empty flights, airline operators struggle with low utilization and high costs due to lack of available data. And then unused capacity. So often one seat's occupied, but the customer has to pay for the entire flight. All seats and jet sharing confined in any situation. It'll help split the cost of flight among all passengers and reduce costs for each significantly. Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So here you're looking at a place. Let's talk about airlines for a little bit. Mm-hmm. That they're always trying to save money somewhere, and if they can make this system work, the airlines probably should jump all over it because it would make them much more efficient.
Do we know if they're helping out on that?
Well, that would be part of their thing. Would be that they would. And let's go. I'm going to skip a slide here. Empty flights. The empty flight slide, which is 2 down from the one you're at there.
Yep, we're on it.
Okay, almost no consistent, reliable, and up-to-date information regarding capacities are available of aircraft's fuel, crews, and infrastructure.
Wow.
And really, when you think about that, let's say you got a plane that is ready to go and you don't have a flight crew for it. And that plane could be loaded with either freight or people. I mean, if you can keep track of all this stuff and be able to have a flight crew that you could run in and have them take that plane when you got it full, that would be awesome. Mm-hmm. Low utilization, of course, you want to fill it up. And so what they're going to do is through the blockchain, they're going to get rid of intermediaries and complete automation. There's that word again. Concentration on core business and significant reduction of administrative burdens. And one of the other slides that we had was up farther. It talked about trying to do away with intermediaries and trying to get more direct information.
Hey, you moved your head away from the camera. It looks like I can just see above your nose.
You know, I did. I pulled the
You got excited.
I love this stuff. So, so what they're trying to do is bring efficiencies to this whole thing with empty flights. They're trying to fill flights.
Gotcha.
And that would be awesome if they could do that. If flights were more reliable. And I'm wondering if all of this stuff, if they could extend this this program or this platform to help alleviate the government's screening of people going through.
Oh man.
The airport. I mean, what if they could gather information? And
right. So you're pre-screened.
Yeah, pre-screened, be certified, identify yourself with a special, identification that only.
They're doing some changes now where we're all going to have to get in the United States. We're all going to have to get different licenses to be able to fly. And I don't know, I think it's this year that some of those changes are being implemented. So that'll be interesting to see how that gets resolved. I hope that the hope here, though, right, is that, and we're on the unused capacity now, though, which I think is important too. The hope is that this isn't just some developers and, like you said, a couple college graduates that are trying to tackle it. That they have bigger goals in mind and things like that. I know we'll probably go through the team stuff in a little bit.
Yeah, we're coming up to that.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about unused capacity. But first, thank you to DLive 24 Hour, HR1, Patrick Ulrich, For Osprey, Irv, and Carapet for your upvotes. You guys are awesome, and I will make sure that I do this week where I do a little bit of work to get the upvote notification live into the broadcast. Go ahead, Charles.
Okay, so
sorry about
unused
that, bud.
Capacity. Seats are unoccupied on a lot of flights. They're not full. And what they intend to do is to alleviate that by creating a system through the blockchain that would be direct booking by customers. So now you're not going through an intermediary. It speeds up the process.
Would you go right through the airline? I mean, would there still be airlines, though, or?
Well, certainly that would be available.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to do is get direct connection with the customer and the airline itself to book those flights.
How would that be different than today? Because I could go to Delta right now and book a flight.
You could. Additionally, though, you could go to online and pick one of the Travelocity or some other website, or you could call your local. I'm having brain damage today, guys. Help me out here.
And you do that by putting comments in the chat room.
Yeah. You could go to your travel agent. So there's a lot of other ways to do that. Now, here's another thing. If a system is automation, you don't have to deal with that person on the telephone. You go direct to they hook up direct to the airline's booking system.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're not talking to that person on the other end of the line who may or may not be surly at the moment.
Yep.
Usually pretty nice, but now you're able to just to look at everything that's available. You pull it up on your screen, you get a list, and you say, I want this one, you book your flight, and you're ready to go.
Gotcha. Okay. Excuse me. All right, where are we going next?
Challenges.
Got it.
They need a smart contract that they want to use that is, I'm calling, these are my words, dynamic, adjusting to unplanned variances. And because what they're saying is as a smart contract, and I didn't get a chance to do the research on this, but if someone makes a payment for a flight and then the flight gets diverted, maybe canceled because the airplane has a problem. Smart contracts aren't very adept at making, being changed because they're pretty much written in stone. Once it's set in motion, it is what it is.
Right.
What I think they need to do is either they need to place a time frame of a lifespan on the contract. Would be one idea, that they could take a smart contract and say, hey, look, if this is not completed in a given time, it dies and gets destroyed. Or if the service is not completed, or they need a two-part contract. One is the original agreement, and the second has any unplanned changes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part would preempt the first or destroy the first if it was selected by both parties.
Gotcha.
It's just some ideas that
that's pretty neat.
Could work.
Mm-hmm.
Because we in the brokerage business, one of the platforms I use for my stock trading, they have things that are called fill or kill. They have one order gets executed, it cancels the other order.
Right.
So some of those concepts are in play currently, and if they could adjust the smart contract to do that, then they would solve those problems.
All right. Then what?
It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, it will.
Okay, it's time for more shameless promotion.
Uh-oh, here we go. Listen, guys, do you believe in universal basic income? Even if you don't, there's a great platform out there that you can get some cryptocurrency, make a nonprofit investment, and help other people who are interested in universal basic income. And that platform, ladies and gentlemen, is called
Mannabase.
That's the creepiest like promo we've done. But we are in contact with Mannabase, and I am looking to do a follow-up Mannabase episode here on Morning Coins, and also getting the creator of Mannabase onto another show that I produce called The Steaming Pile, which airs on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Mountain. And have them, like we would do a week where we would just talk with the folks from Mannabase. And other people that are interested in universal basic income. So like Steam has a Steam basic income project that they're working on. SB9, it always upvotes my stuff. I don't know how they do that, but there's always some Steam SBI9. So there's always some SBI folks out there that are upvoting content and working towards the same stuff. So go ahead, Chaz. The slide's showing if you want to do a little bit of a review.
Sure. So I'm in week 7 here. I have 2 people that I referred, and they have signed up. And so far I'm up to approximately 65 and a half Manna. It's not a ton of money, but if the value of Manna increases over time, I should be doing quite well. So for every referral I get, a person that signs up using my link or your link, they get 100% increase in their Mannabase deposit. So right now I'm getting a 200% increase on my base deposit.
That's cool. So if you guys are interested, and if the Mannabase project sounds like, just go check out their website and read what they're about, watch some of the videos, check out the underlying technology, and just our ask is that you just use one of our links. Remember, the slideshows for all of our shows are available in the description. And then you just go down to the Manna slide and click on our link, open up an account. Their Mannabase is pretty easy. It's an easy know your customer, use your email address type process, and then you also get signed up. You get your own referral link, and you can see the social media options on there, and get going.
Yeah, it's free money. So jump in there, and who knows, you might be able to get that money, and maybe you want to donate it to someone else.
I'm going to scroll up and see if anybody said anything about universal basic income. My question always is like, if you had your base costs covered, what would you do?
Boy, if I had my base, because I'm not there, if I had my base
Right?
costs covered, there would be a lot of creative things that I'd want to do, and a lot of volunteer work and things of that nature.
Yep.
Just basically helping people.
Yeah. All right. So there's a cool slide here called the token.
Yeah, so they they are in the midst right now of the token distribution offering, and so they're going to use it for transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and this is I did not mention in the beginning. This is an open source program.
Okay.
This is this platform, but they're
Interesting.
going to use it for buying tickets, to pay fees. So, like if you have luggage fees, to buy fuel, to pay crews, give you food, which is very important to me, catering. So their platform is going to cover pretty much everything that requires a payment is going to be covered under this system. My question here, when I look at this, is this: how big of the chunk of the pie do they have to get to make this work?
Right.
And what happens if someone else comes up with a similar chunk of the pie? What happens to the efficiencies if someone else comes up with a similar platform?
Right. That's
So
right.
I could see Northwest Airlines doing this.
There's a Northwest Airlines.
Is it still in existence?
I don't know.
Spirit
I know there's a
Airlines?
Southwest. There's a Spirit, I think. I
Yeah,
don't know how.
Southwest.
Yeah. Did
Northwest is
you?
the Red Tails.
This is an aside. Did you see that in Seattle that dude, the baggage handler, launched a commercial plane? Like
Yeah, he got on it and flew
got
it. He
on it and
made
flew it around for like an hour before he crashed it.
you did acrobats,
Yeah, and so they're like,
acrobatics with the
right.
plane.
It's like, so that's interesting, right? Because it's like, I wonder if they could also use that as an argument. Like, we have people that are baggage handlers that can get onto planes.
Yeah,
And
so
I hope not everybody will like go that kid's route, but, and it was just one of those
oh
things, where he was just like, everyone loved the kid, and he must have just had it in him, like, I'm gonna go fly me a plane.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, he snapped.
Yeah. It happens. It happens here in America.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him and the airlines and his family, which
Yeah.
I'm sure miss him very much. And but there's a thing. I mean, with the blockchain instituted, remember we did the platform XYO,
Yep.
XY network, which tracks things.
Mm-hmm.
So what if these guys are? You have to have a certain kind of permission to get on a plane, and you're tracked. And when you get near that doorway, bells and whistles go off.
Yeah. Yeah. And I liked XYO platform, and I really like after our thing, I was like, man, I'm gonna go and see if I can get in the loop on this XYO stuff. And it's not that it was a lot of money, but I thought it was they had a very high entry point to get started with that platform, and I was like, I don't know if I like it that much.
Yeah.
So they price people out.
Yeah, they probably are
Get a
trying to
certain
avoid the
Yeah,
traders.
get a certain user, right.
We used to call those in the brokerage business odd lot traders. They would buy less than 100 shares. So they probably have this goal that they're after, and they figure psychologically the larger amounts are going to keep out certain people.
All right. Well, how about these guys? How are they distributing their tokens?
Okay, well, here's the token distribution, which is going on right as we speak. And I can't read, my slide is too small, but uh, they have it divided up pretty well, I think.
15% for founders in the team. This is the token distribution. There's a bounty pool for 2%. Advisors and ambassadors are 8. Future strategic partnerships is 10%. That's probably a good idea. Private pre-sale and public sales 40%. Standard airdrop 3%, and future development 22%. So, that's not bad. The the team number might be a little bit high. I wonder if they have a plan to decrease that after they get going.
They could redistribute their own tokens.
Distribution of funds: 30% for marketing and sales, 10% for the support fund, 5% for legal, 5% compliance, 5% for common and administrative expenses, and 45% for Avinoc development.
Yeah, because they are going to need developers on this program. I think this is going to be a little bit more complex than a lot of the others.
And for you guys watching out there, let us know if you think that distribution is of funds is standard from what other projects you've seen. Sean S. Porter was responding to the flight. He said yes. He said that the guy that stole the plane was depressed. He said the audio from that is crazy, and he said at least he didn't take anyone down with it, and that's totally true.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the audio for that. I'm curious.
No, I haven't either. I haven't.
Yeah, and so for you guys out there, just let us know if that token distribution is standard, and we're gonna go over the timeline on how they're rolling all this stuff out.
Okay, so we have a roadmap. I just published here the last part of it, 2018 forward. And so we're right in the middle of the ICO. There is going to be an airdrop coming after that's completed. And then public exchanges. They have a plan for public exchanges. So people can buy tokens and buy their airline tickets. Airline, general aviation, and major exchanges.
So they're expecting, sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't want to sound negative on them, but it looks like their anticipated integration into general aviation will be in the fourth quarter of 2020.
Yes, it is a comprehensive and complex project, and I could see why it would take that long.
And a jet? Oh yeah, I honestly don't have any problem with that. I think if you try to do it, I think that you need to be realistic in your projections. And
Right.
so when I see stuff like that, I always think forward, because that's what happens in crypto and blockchain. Everybody just looks at coin market cap and they think that things are going down or they think that things are going up. But 5 years is a good like projection point to think about where things would go, not 5 months.
Well, when you think about what they're dealing with,
Yeah.
they're multiple airlines and small airline businesses.
The jet.
There's multiple layers of data.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big project ahead of them. From reading their paper, it appears that they've done their homework.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, D Live, for the upvote and the support for our show. We appreciate it. And let's see, the jet and seat sharing market. That sounds interesting. I mean, obviously, that's definitely going to help on decreasing inefficiencies.
Right. Well, one of the things is if you can get online or get to your computer, hit a button and find out all the available seats, I mean, your planning can be a lot better.
Yeah, and for those of you just tuning in, one of the biggest stats that we uncovered earlier in the presentation was that 40% of most flights go empty. And that inefficiency in and of itself is passed on to any flight consumer.
Right.
And that's a big deal. Like that stat, that thing in and of itself, if these guys are successful with their platform, can make any headway into decreasing that and making that system more efficient, you're saving customers money.
Right. Yeah, because an empty plane is a loss. It's a pure cost situation.
Yep.
I know some of these airlines do carry freight as well as passengers, some of the larger airlines. So I'm wondering how that's going to pan out too, because if you get better deals from a smaller organization to carry freight, you might want to do that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now we meet the team.
Well, we meet the first three of the team. I think there's like 20 people on their team. Robert Galovic he's a real person. I checked his LinkedIn page. They have information. If you hit that I at the bottom on their screen, they give you a rundown on their backgrounds.
Oh.
Did check these guys.
I'm sorry, that doesn't work on the slide. You have to do that on the Avinoc.
Yeah, you have to actually go to the website.
Here's me, like a dolt, going over there and pushing the slide.
I had to push the button and it didn't work.
All right, so has he posted anything lately about Avinoc on LinkedIn? That's a question.
Yeah, here I found this one to be very interesting. When you go to LinkedIn, he has like a criteria for you to talk to him. You know, it basically said if you're a ding-a-ling, don't even bother.
That means I'm gonna go and request for him to come on and do a follow-up episode of Morning Coins.
Bring him on, because this is a complex project. We'd like to hear from the big shooters.
Well, I'm gonna send him the link of this episode and say, "Yo, did we get it?" Well, first I'll say, "Do we get it right?"
Well,
and second I'll say, "Get on here." Yeah. What about Carl Heinz Molly?
These guys are all for real people. They all have backgrounds. Some of them not in aviation, as far as I remember, as far as I checked. But they seem this crew seems like they're serious and they're a real team. So they can be found, not like some projects where I've looked at where the developers disappear after a month or two.
Sure. All right, so that's Avinoc, you guys. That's the team. That is our review of the platform. What if you want, put some comments in there, and we will get them into the chat. We got a couple other slides that we're going to talk through today, and I have a couple announcements and pages to show too. Sean S. Porter said 40% regarding the empty seats. He said, "Wow."
Yeah. That's super inefficient. They need to fix that. So hopefully Avinoc will be able to do that.
All right, so I'm going to go through a couple slides, and then we're going to go. Then we'll get into our technical analysis and the current state of crypto. Okay.
Sure, go for it, guy.
All right. So if you guys give me a second, I've just brought up a couple things on Steemit that I wanted you guys to kind of check out. One is that's Rubius, so that's no longer relevant. SMTs, Chaz, I don't know if you know this or not, but Smart Media Tokens, the release dates for Smart Media Tokens have been announced. January 19th, along with the release of the launch of the protocol, and then the SMT development will be complete and live on testnet January 15th, and March 24th, 2019, SMTs will be released and live on the Steem blockchain. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you, Chaz, so you can see this next one. I want you to be able to react. So then you can also see what I showed everybody. And I'll put our cameras over here so people know that we're still around. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. So there's the release date, Smart Media Tokens. It's a token launching protocol similar to ERC20s on Ethereum, but this is on the Steem blockchain. And so I want you to know that the G1N token account has been created.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so we will be participating in that project. I'm looking for. I coined us as a SMT early adopter, so we need to start getting some people together who are interested in taking G1NBC.com and turning that into a smart media broadcasting platform. So if you guys are out there and you're watching, and that's something that you want to do, and you know where I am on Discord, then hit me up. And if not, go to @G1N Token, give us a follow, and we'll be putting stuff over there soon. Gathering our team, writing our own white paper, and helping get that project off the ground. I'm excited to be a part of the SMT process, so I'm just going to keep learning and making relationships and doing that as I go. But I wanted to share that with you so you saw it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great thing. I have the paper that you sent me on the smart tokens. I translated that into a speech file so I can listen to it, because sometimes I don't have time
Oh,
to
cool.
read. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's neat.
but if anybody has it's an all right program, but it obviously misses some of the punctuation in there. If anyone has a really good free text to speech program, let me know.
Okay. Sounds good. And so now we're going to do a little bit of technical analysis. The altcoin universe and Bitcoin to a lesser extent took a very large hit over the last week. It was a
Oh,
bloodbath, a sea of red.
I would, I would see that things haven't been going well at this point, but um, the year's not out. There's plenty of time, and I think what we're going to see is some of the institutional investors are going to be moving into. I know J.P. Morgan is working on some tokens or some blockchain technology, as well as what was the thing I just recently saw? Someone has issued, because they're having trouble with issuing electronically traded funds for cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
Someone issued ETH. I didn't get a chance to read the article, to bypass the regulatory system. So we'll see how that pans out as well.
Yeah, and Andreas Antonopoulos just released a video about ETFs and his dislike for them for the broader decentralized community. But there isn't anything anyone can do to stop them. But the point is, for that though, is you can get an ETF, but you don't own coins. You own a stake in that fund.
Right, you own a stake in who holds the fund,
Right,
the coin.
right, and everyone knows how that happens.
Yeah, well, I currently own an ETF for gold.
Okay.
But the idea behind it is I don't actually own the gold, but I can get in and out of this thing at a moment's notice. So it's very liquid at this time, and there actually is physical gold backing up the ETF.
So what are we looking at today for the CCI? When did you do this? Did you do this yesterday?
This morning.
This morning? Okay.
Yep, I did this morning. As you can see, things are gone south quite a bit. Our last show, the index was at 5,000.
Oh my goodness.
And the 52-week progress was about 52%. Now we're down 0.1.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
year to
yeah,
date.
so what that means, you guys, I mean, which some of you may or may not know, that means that 52 weeks ago, your crypto that you would have had in the CCI 30 would have been what? You've actually, like, since then, we've actually lost 10% of the value.
Yeah, we lost a lot.
Damn.
This,
It's like, yeah, it could get worse. There are some people that are predicting it could get, well, I mean, I hate to say Kramer, but there are some people predicting it could get worse before it gets better.
it's quite possible. But, is Bitcoin's going to disappear? No. Are the altcoins going to disappear? Some will. I mean, I think last read I had, there was 1,800 ICOs or 1,800 tokens and Bitcoin and coins out there. That's a lot.
Yeah, and I think there's even more than that. I think there's
But
like 4,000 or 5,000.
if you look at the New York Stock Exchange, 5,000 stocks.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't think that this is anywhere near being overbought at this point or oversold. We're just going through a cycle.
Okay. Yeah, because Ethereum, like right after Ethereum went down to like 275 or something like that, they had, I think, upwards of 20 or 30 billion pumped back into it, and it went back up to like 295, closer to 300. So it'll be interesting.
These are, I think, if you're shrewd, buying opportunities are coming up here. So
okay. Anything else on the CCI, or are we going to go to our Bitcoin analysis?
Let's go to the Bitcoin analysis. Nothing more to say about those guys.
That's what everybody's here for anyway.
So I just did a short, less than 1 year chart on a weekly basis. What I'm trying to get at here is I'm trying to see the long term on this and trying to take out some of the short term volatility.
Okay.
So we can actually see what's happening over a long term. So we're zooming out here and looking at the big picture. And I applied a Gantt square to this.
The Gantt square is the rainbow.
Yeah, the rainbow chart. We can call it that. That works for me.
We're for non-technical financial folks.
Yeah, and so we want to go somewhere over the rainbow.
Of course.
Here. And what we're seeing here, though, is that it did meet some resistance there at the second set of double arcs. And remember, we're looking at a weekly. Each candle represents a week.
Each candle is a week. Now, when you say the second set of double arcs, do you mean the first, like, kind of, like what, the
so
one where the
green
two
candle and the red candle are right next to each other at the peak?
Yep.
That's the second set of double arcs.
That's the second set of double arcs. Got it. And then we have another red candle under that and a small green one started.
Right, so that's this week. The small green one is this week. So if you look at this and look at the angles, the angle lines on it, these are Gann lines. We bounced off that double arc. And you can see we actually could go deeper. We could go all the way to the bottom of this chart easily.
47.50 per.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for to happen, though, is when we reapproach that double arc again, that we're going to see some upward momentum and that the price of Bitcoin will rise above that first angled line or the first Gann line.
Okay.
That we're looking at.
And when you say the first Gann line, you mean it's the first one like on from the right?
The bottom one.
Or the first one from the bottom. Yep. Okay. Yeah. The bottom one. Yep. I got it.
Yeah. So
I just want to make sure I'm highlighting the right one for folks.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I agree.
And then that's going up. You see that if we follow that trajectory, then 92.50 could be a number that we're looking at. If it doesn't, if it continues to go down, then obviously, like you said, it might go down to 47.
Right. If you would view the bottom of that Gann box as a resistance line, if it breaks through there, it could drop farther.
Okay.
But I view that as a support line.
Okay.
And then on the unbalanced volume, I just wanted to put a regression analysis on there to straighten out that slope a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it is still technically in an upward trend from the beginning of that to the current position.
Okay.
So we are seeing some money come back into the Bitcoin.
Good. Yeah, we talked about that on the steaming pile too. It's like, buy Bitcoin, everybody. If you don't like what's going on and you have fear of uncertainty, especially in the U.S., buy some Bitcoin.
And here's a strategy too that has worked very well for me in the past is I don't put all my eggs in at the first moment. Mm-hmm. I hold back a portion for averaging. If it should drop farther, I can hang out and get a better price and get a lower average price on it.
Okay.
Hold something in reserve.
Yeah. And I don't know. You kind of have to feel it too. You have to do your own research, do your own due diligence, and figure out when is the best time for you. I've made a couple poor decisions, and I've made a couple good ones so far. So we'll see.
We all do it. Even the experienced people do it.
Yep. Good show, man.
Yeah, it was an excellent platform. I hope we can get the founders on here to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean the founders for any coin, and that's one thing that our audience can do. Like, if you know founders, or if you're in Telegram, or if you just like generally bothering people, we will let you write emails on behalf of Morning Coins with John and Chaz. All you have to do is take the link to our show and say, "Hey, I watched the show about your token or your coin. I think you would be a great addition to an upcoming broadcast. Check us out." And then you guys can see above me is the DLive 24-hour tag. we've never really been overt about asking for Steam or anything related to helping keep the show going. But if you are interested in promoting a project, a Steam project, a contest, a platform, or a DApp that you have on Steam, contact either Chaz or myself at crollo3 or John Spalding, and we can get you some advertising space above Chaz. This is our
Yeah.
this is our 20th episode. We're not going to stop anytime soon. We might take a week off here and there depending on what happens, but Chaz and I always try to come back and put on a good show for you guys. Also, if there are coins that you want us to consider, platforms or interoperability projects or other blockchain projects you want us to consider, also just hit us up. Either a memo, you can send .001 SBD or Steam, and in the memo just say, hey, cover this coin, or I'd like to hear more about this.
Yeah.
So,
Additionally, producing the show, my producer I got to keep him in cat food. So
yes, please send at Cirilo3 some Steam so that he can pay his producer with cat food and catnip.
yeah, he's taking a nap right now.
Yeah, you have the laziest producer. I
Yeah,
would
he
say
is,
that.
but you don't want to rile him up because he will take a bite out of you.
All right, everyone. So this is Morning Coins with John and Chaz, episode 20. What's next week? Do we know?
Well, we can do Rubius.
Yeah, let's do
I'm holding
Rubius.
off on the other coin because you were trying to get some people to come on and talk about that.
I'm trying to get him on here. So I have
Yeah.
one more email follow up via LinkedIn that I need to do, and then if I don't hear back, then we'll just go ahead and do it, and then we'll smear their name if they don't show up.
We will let them have it online.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your upvotes. Let me scroll down and see if any more came in while I was blabbing. And I don't think so. Or I just can't see all of it with the way that it shows. So, thanks for tuning in, you guys. We're going to do another Morning Coins with, John and Chaz next week. And for our G1NBC.com family, we will have the uploaded version of this on YouTube, and you can check out the slides and all the other links in the description on DLive, Steemit, and YouTube.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone, for your comments and your input. And, of course, we look forward to seeing you the next time. Please come on. We got a space on the screen for your video. We can put you on there, and you can talk with us.
Yep. You guys are welcome to come in with us and talk and chat live as well. All right, everyone. This is Morning Coins with John and Chaz. We did Avinoc today, and we will see you next week.
Next week, be there, be square.
Thank you, Happy Rock. I mean, bensounds.com for Happy Rock. Here it is.